Cancers, hello my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Cancers, we've got cards. Okay, so we have the Orphan, the Mirror, and Alithia. The Healer, the Ocean, Anima Mundi, the Lover, and the Father. Well, you know, Cancers, I really just like immediately feel like this. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's a tactic that people use. You know what I mean? Like a war tactic, like the art of war. But it's to keep you in an extreme, right? Oh, I know what'll really, like push this person's button. Oh, I know how to really stick the knife in there and twist it. You know what I mean? And you want to avoid those people like the fucking plague. You know what I mean? Because they're not there to heal. They're not there to create peace or harmony. They're there to dictate, control, manipulate, and stab you at every opportunity that they can. And they'll use anyone or anything against you to do it because they don't actually care about the well-being of the people they're using. They care about their own vindictive agendas. And I feel like you've just been dealing with some people who have like vindictive agendas, right? Who want to keep you in one direction or another, right? Well, Cancers are emotional anyways, you know what I mean? And it's like it's oftentimes villainized by people to be like to allow for emotions to occur, to allow for people to experience their emotions. But like their emotional stuntedness and their inability to, like operate with emotion is really telling of them and not a shortcoming of you. Do you know what I mean? Because emotions are healing. Emotions allow for us to engage in an experience. And if you're so busy holding your emotions in all the time, then of course you're going to be easily triggered. You're going to be, like they can send you in any direction they want to send you in. And that's how they manipulate you. It's like I don't know, there are terrible memes in the world where it's just kind of like, basically making women out to be emotional and irrational. And, you're like, okay, thanks, Trump. You know what I mean? Like, thanks for your deep intellectual thought and understanding of the world. Right. But when you see it for what it is, like when you really experience it in a real way, and you are no longer in an emotionally triggered state because you're no longer in survival mode, and you're like, wow, this like, I literally couldn't have done this if I would have planned it. Do you know what I mean? But it's just kind of like, but you would never planned it. You know what I mean? Because you're not the one who's planning and plotting against people. You're the one who's coming in and you're trying to bring healing and you're trying to create balance. And it's hard to do that when you've got some, it's like the little kid who, like, everyone's working to build sandcastles and they just want to come in and they want to kick everyone's castles down. And it's like, there's nothing loving about that. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, ridiculousness. But like also, I think knowing it, like recognizing it for what it is, because you're not emotionally triggered with what it was that they wanted to throw at you. You know what I mean? It's like, well, again, very telling of your character. But the fact that I'm not emotionally triggered by it any longer is just further demonstration that I've healed even more, and that I have an understanding that allows for like a balanced state of existence that is a conducive environment for love, not all that other shit. Okay, Cancers. Hope y'all are doing well, having a lovely week, all that jazz. You're like one piece of hair that is just like, I guess it's multiple pieces of hair, but still, it's bothering me. Okay. The Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Five of Swords, the Two of Swords. Yeah, again, there's just this idea of like I'm sorry that I just can't even with your ridiculousness. Like, I'm sorry that I recognize what you're doing from a mile away. You know, I'm sorry that I've healed from it so much that when you attempt to do it now, you look like, what? I don't know. You look like you're just throwing shit for the sake of throwing shit. Like there's so many other things to be dealt with. There's so many other things to discuss. There's so many other things to like, it's just, I don't know why. I just feel like this, like, that's all, like, you can take your extremes elsewhere, please and thank you. Like, this is not the, like, your emotional not, no. Like, you can't, like, show up to just throw shit and then, like, ha ha ha, didn't you do something? Well, yeah, you showed up as a character who just shows up to throw shit. Ha 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 ha. And isn't it always just so telling? And doesn't the list just keep getting longer? And new beginnings. Cancers. I feel just irritated, quite frankly. I don't know. We'll see. Two of Wands, Page of Cups, Two of Cups. Page of Swords and Five of Pentacles. Well, for me, this is just reading as like, this is a couple who's separated and they know that they won't always be separated. For me, this would read as my, like my children, because my children are, not with me and have been through a shit ton between me and then, like just the rhetoric and the, like the mentality and the energy of their father and his family, like there's been a lot of separation. There's been a lot of lack. There's been a lot of like negative that took negative and turned it into trauma, that took trauma and turned it into hatred, that, you know what I mean? That it's just kind of like, there was a lot there, and that's a lot to overcome, right? I mean, that's a lot to have to deal with. Like for me, because I'm like, I got my dad on my side. That's basically it. You know what I mean? And some strangers that I don't even know really well, you know what I mean? Who I love and I'm grateful for, but like, also like, you're starting over again. It's just the sense of like, I got to start over again. And when I'm starting over again, I feel like I'm missing out. But I'm doing it because in order to move past that emotionally triggered state, I needed to be calm and sturdy and stable in myself before I was going to be able to help anyone do anything. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, but since you've done that, since you've worked on that, you are now able to really create what it is that you were wanting to create. I feel like in spite of the separation, in spite of the, like the rhetoric that was thrown around, why it all went down, you know what I mean? Like, on God, I like, seriously, if you can't have a conversation with me in my real life, you don't have a clue about what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and you can speculate and you can throw shade and you can whatever, but I guarantee you that unless you're like, oh wow, she's got her nose, like her nose down, she's doing what she needs to do and she's healing and she's working, you know what I mean? And she's trying to make things right, not trying to tear people down. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Like, go through all of these videos and count how many times people were being torn down. You know what I mean? It's when that energy comes that it gets sent back. And it's like, that's not me being nasty. That's me being an empath and experiencing a lot of projection. I don't even know if this makes sense right now, so I might redo this because maybe it's too personal. I don't know. The Devil. The Devil, the Queen of Wands, Judgment, Ace of Cups, and the Knave of Wands. Well, I do really sincerely feel like that is the vibe here. Like, no, like, you don't get to judge me for all of these things when, like, do you not see what it is that I was trying to escape and how it still exists? You know what I mean? Like, it's still manipulative. It's still nasty, hateful energy that just wants to like trip you up and throw a wrench in your day and see how I can make them cry, see if I can make them hurt. Like, I just feel like there are some people who are obsessed with hating you, and that is a lot of energy to have to deal with. And it's an energy that you have to separate yourself from. You know what I mean? Because there's new. There's new. Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Like, you're ready to go and like do something like conducive to healing, to growth, to balance, to understanding. And you can't work with people who just are emotionally, developed to like the age of 7. You know what I mean? And it's difficult too when you're dealing with people who are like intellectually they're beyond the age of 7, right? Like intellectually they could say, well, I've done this, this, and this in life, but like emotional intelligence, it's like, yeah, but you are like dealing with an impetulant child always. And so I have to make a decision to like completely disassociate myself from that. And you don't get to tell me that like my children are not my children, or you don't get to tell me that like my passions aren't my passions. You don't get to tell me that my gifts aren't my gifts. Just because I'm not associating them with you, well, they're a lot better off that way. Sorry. But like I don't know. But you also don't get to like dictate like the motivation behind any of the things that I'm doing, or the decisions that I'm making and moving forward. And like, you don't get to say that like you've got something that I want so I can't do it, because like you don't own people. You don't own ideas. And the fact that you would even approach life in that manner is so telling. And again, that's not a me thing. But thanks for playing. All right, Cancer. If this does resonate, please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.